What I'd like to do next is put together a list of the different types of music that are offered. And in this case, the order of them doesn't matter. We're going to talk about making two kinds of lists. A bulleted list with little dots, or a numbered list with, who would have guessed, numbers. You use a numbered list when the order of the objects is important. But in this case, this list of different types of music, the order is not particularly important, so I want to do bullets instead. But maybe I'm not quite sure how to start bullets. In the old days, I would have gone to the help window. There would be a little menu command up here that says help. Now they've replaced it with this choice, tell me what you want to do. So I'm going to click in there, and then I'm going to start typing, because what I want to do is add bullets. So I start typing the word bullets. And the more I type, the more focused it becomes. And then, in fact, here is the way to turn on bullets. I click on it, and it's actually going to do it. It's not telling me, oh, you should go to the blah blah menu and do this. It's actually letting me do it right here. So I'm going to click on this bullets command. Hey, there comes a bullet. And then I want to say, all right, one kind of music is going to be rock. But there are different kinds of rock. So when I hit the enter key, it assumes that I want to continue that bulleted list. Maybe I want to make what's called a sub-bullet, that is, subcategories of rock. Well, one of the ways to do that is to hit the tab key. That's what I'm about to do right now. And notice how it indents and it changes the look of the bullet. So I can talk about different kinds of rock. I can talk about rock and roll. I can talk about headbanger rock. When I hit the enter key, it assumes that I want another bullet at that level. But in this case, I want to switch from rock to gospel, which means I want to make another bullet like this one. Well, a couple of ways to do that. To make a sub-bullet, I hit the tab key and it indents. But if I want to go the other direction, if I want to outdent, I hold the shift key and hit the tab key. And I'm going to do that again. And now I've got that first type of bullet, so I can mention gospel. I'm going to hit the enter key. It assumes I want another one at that level. So if I want to indent that and talk about other kinds of gospel, I can do that. Or I can say, now I want to talk about jazz, which happens to be my personal favorite. I'm going to hit the enter key, and I want to put subcategories of jazz. I'm using the tab key to indent. So I'm going to have, old school swing jazz. We're going to have, from the 50s, something called bebop. Then there's something called the post-bop era. And then there's more modern jazz. And then there's the soft jazz. And so forth. And if I need to indent even more, I can use tab, tab, tab. You can see there are several levels of bullets and sub-bullets. So what if I'm done with my list? How do I tell it I don't want to do buttons anymore? Well, here's one of the ways. I can hit the enter key, and it assumes I want a bullet just like the previous level. And if I hit enter key one more time, I am no longer bulleting. So I would like you to try that. I'd like you to try what I just did. Start out by using the Tell Me What You Want to Do button up here. It's always up there. And you're going to type in bullets, and as you do that, it'll find the bullets button. You can click on it then, and it'll make a bullet for you, and then you can create this list. Remember, to indent to make a sub-bullet, you use the tab key. To outdent to make it a previous level bullet, you use shift and tab. All right, catch up with me. All right, I'm hitting the enter key a couple of times to stop my bulleted list, and maybe one more enter to leave a little gap. Now I want to talk about a closely related thing called numbered lists. If we go to our Home tab, we will discover there is a button right here for bullets, and right next door there's a button for numbering. Also, I should mention that next to each of those is a sneaky little list arrow, where I could choose other kinds of bullets, or I can choose what kind of numbering I want. Do I want a number with a period? Do I want a number with a parenthesis? Do I want Roman numerals? I'm going to try this way this time for my numbers. I'm going to click the little pull-down arrow, and I'm going to choose the ones with the parentheses here. Notice I'm getting a live preview down there as I'm doing it. I'm clicking. So here's my first step. Now, I'm a part-time musician, so maybe I want to talk about the steps to recording a piece. So let's see, starting right from the beginning, I have to get out my horn. I need to put it together. Now, you might have just seen something happen there. I didn't capitalize the first letter, but as I began typing and hit the spacebar, it assumed that I wanted a capital letter as the beginning of a new sentence. So put the horn together. Step 3, take out the music. Now, maybe I want some sub-numbers here. So I'm going to hit the Enter key, and then I'm going to use the Tab key to get a sub-number. In this case, it pulls up a lowercase letter. So when I take out the music, I have to decide whether it will be bebop or swing. Got too many E's in my B there. Also, you might notice the red squiggle here. That's my spell checker running. I'm going to right-click on that word, and it offers me other words that I might have meant, and I can click on, yeah, this is the one I wanted. Lovely spell checker there. Now, when I hit the Enter key, it assumes that I want another one at that level, but if I want to make this one a number 4 instead, what do you suppose I'm going to do? I'm going to do exactly what I did with the bullets. I'm going to Shift-Tab. Holding the Shift key, hitting Tab, I am now making a number 4. So I've taken out the music. Now I want to set the music on the music stand. I want to turn on the microphone. And then I'm going to swing, baby. Yeah, I actually know musicians who kind of talk that way. Yeah, baby, let's swing. Don't worry about the club owner. Sweat not, baby. Yeah, I know people who talk that way. And then when I tell it that I want to stop numbering, I could do that by hitting the Enter key enough times to stop the numbering. All right, your turn. So you're going to go turn on the numbering. We did it up here this time. A little pull down arrow, sneaky list arrow next to the numbering button. You can choose one of the different ones here. If you want to go with Roman numerals or something like that, feel free to do that. And then put together some steps. They can either be the steps like I'm doing, or they could be steps to something that you do very often. So make a numbered list, everybody.